Today in Old School RuneScape, I'm going to show you guys how you can make millions of dollars passively with very little effort. So, without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to be going over how you can make money in Old School RuneScape by flipping stuff on the GE. Now, the nice thing is you can make a crap ton of money, and it's very low effort once you know what you're doing. You do have to kind of figure some stuff out, but you can easily pay for bonds by flipping in Old School RuneScape. It just takes a little practice. So, the first thing you're going to want to do is you want to go to this website here, prices.runescape.wiki. I'll throw the link below this video for you guys. This shows the prices of all the items on Old School RuneScape currently. So I can go up top and I can search any item I want. So I can look for like a dragon scimitar, for example, and it'll show me the price of the dragon scimitar. So pretty much the sell price is your buy price. The buy price is going to be your sell price. I know it sounds confusing. It's not going to be though. So I'll show you some of the items I flip over here. If you go here, these are some of the things I flip depending on what their price is. So if I look at the margin, now margin is good, but you also want to look at the price of the item. For example, Ranger Boots is almost $1 million per flip, which sounds great until you realize that's only 2% return on investment, and the GE charges a 2% fee on items. So you would only be making that 0.3%, which in reality is going to be peanuts. So we're going to go here. We're going to look at some of my items that are flipping at a better rate for a decent price, but you also want to look at the margin. So let me break this stuff down for you. So these are items. These are the buy limit every 4 hours. Some items have buy limits, as you may know. This shows if it's members only. You could do this in free to play, but it'll be a lot harder because there's a lot less variety to your flipping. This is the buy price, the most recent buy, the sell price, most recent sell, and the margin. The daily volume is very important. For example, if we go to all items right now and sort by like margin, I have it filtered, but if I were to take off the filter, I have a minimum volume. So if it's less than 100, right, it's not really going to move well. So I want things that move fast, but if I were to take that off, for example, and then we sort by the margin, it's going to be a bunch of random bullshit items, for lack of a better term, like a fibula piece. Wow, you could make $900,000 for the slight buy of 20K, except it hasn't sold at all today. Like literally zero, and the last sell was 3 days ago. So that's why what I do is I put my price, depending on what I'm looking to spend. Usually I put it around like 10 mil is my cap. And then I'll do my daily volume. So I'm going to do at least 100 have sold today. Then I'll sort by margin. And now we're going to be in business. So this is actually a great flip right here. It might take a little time. 2 hours was the last one. So what I'm going to do, I'll try to move my video over for you guys. I got to swap over the RuneScape. Give me one momento. All right. So now I'm recording here. I'm going to hop over to the GE really quick. Sorry, this is a little bit messy. All right, so I'm going to hop over to the GE real quick. And now I'm going to go to the GE, right? And using this Torag's platelegs, this is the difference. Look at the return on investment on that, 68%. So that means that I can buy it for about 214K, and I can sell it for almost 360. So we're going to make this smaller so you guys can still keep an eye a little bit. All right. So as you can see, I do it with rune felling axes a lot and make ridiculous money, but okay. Torag's plate legs 0. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna go Torag plate legs. Obviously, that looks correct to me. Okay, so we're gonna buy it for, that's the price that it's going for. All right, so we're gonna put it $1 more than the last sell price. I know the sell and buy thing's confusing. Pretty much flip that in your mind. Okay, so the sell price, we're gonna buy it for, we'll just do like $5 more, 4 of them, whatever. And then once they buy, I'll show you guys how we'll flip it and we'll sell it. So I will be back once I'm able to fill that buy. All right, so as you guys can see, it actually only took like 10 minutes in real life. The Torag's plate legs, I managed to buy 1 set of them, so that's perfect for what we're trying to demonstrate here. So now I'm gonna grab the Torag, right? We look at the prices here, right? I bought it for just above that other price. Now I'm gonna list it at the buy price. So I'm gonna take that 359, that's what I'm gonna sell it for. So I'm gonna go sell. I'm gonna click Torag, and then it's 359,588. But we have to be a little bit less than that. You can do $1. I usually just round to like the nearest $500 less. So I'll go 359,000,1. Boom. Okay. So now, if you look at the prices here in the top right, we're buying for 213. We're selling for 359. Took me 10 minutes, and once that sells, it'll be 140K minus the 2% or whatever. But still, a crazy amount of money for very low effort. All right, so I'll check in with you guys once that sells, and I'll let you know how long it was in real life too. The buy took literally 10 minutes or less. All right, something else that came up while I was doing this that's perfect. I actually filled a second Torag's plate legs. So I'm going to show you guys, as you see all my spots are full. You know how annoying it is to cancel, relist, right? I can click on the sell for my one that I have here, and then I can modify the offer. and I'm just going to bump it up to fill it with all the ones I have. So 2. So what I do, like when I'm selling other items, is as they fill, so if this sold the other 2, I'll just go over and I'll just add them in. And I just keep a constant buy and sell of the things I'm flipping. And that's how I just make as much money as possible. It's very passive. So I'll do this, I'll go do Slayer tasks, and then every 2 or 3 Slayer tasks, I'll check in, and I usually make like $2 or $3 million just by AFK flipping. So really helpful. Again, we'll check in at the end. All right, guys, so it's been about an hour, and as you guys can see, I did manage to sell the Torag plate legs. I did a little missing matching so you guys can kind of see the price differences. So let's break this down. I was buying the Torag plate legs for 213K each. I was selling them for 359K each. So for the 4 I sold, I made 1.4 mil. The 4 just to buy only cost me $854,000. So that's almost $600,000 just in like 1 hour of AFK with a quick glance. I don't usually flip the Torax. That was just like something I grabbed. It wasn't even like pre-planned. As you guys can see, I have like ancient pages. I buy those constantly for like 2 grand, flip them for 20. That's kind of just like a constant one. Felling axes I've been doing a lot. Probably shouldn't tell you guys that one. That's my big ticket item. But I mean, I'm buying like 40 mil of them right now, and I sell them for like 200,000 profit each. And then our Saradomin one didn't fill yet, which will happen. Sometimes you'll try this and they won't fill out, which just, that's something that happens, but that's okay. All right, I will say, if you guys have made it this far in the video, obviously you found this content useful in some capacity, and I'm glad. So if you guys want to see more stuff like this, don't forget to subscribe so you catch more videos on old school RuneScape and how to make money. Now, a couple caveats that are pretty important to this. One, you obviously need to have some capital to get this started. So you can either just farm in like the Motherlode mine, or you could just do whatever Slayer and just accumulate a couple of keys and stuff like that and sell them. You do need a couple mil to get started on this. I do understand that. This is not exactly a 0 to 1 billion guide. This is more, once you have a couple $1,000,000, you can make passive income and double your money about every week or every 2 weeks, depending on how much money you're using. 2, you can screw yourself really bad. So one part I did not cover, but I'm going to cover for you guys now, and I'm going to use an example that actually really screwed me over. The zombie axe. Okay, items fluctuate in price. This little graph here we didn't really talk about, so I'm going to talk about it now, and trust me, this is freaking important. Okay, so you'll kind of learn items and the prices that they average as you do them. So like, I know felling axes like the back of my hand. I know what's high, I know what's low, I know what's a good buy price. Okay, zombie axes, when I was new, I bought a lot of them. If we go to the 30 days, I'm not joking with you, I bought them down here, literally when they were about 1.5 mil. Actually, no, I probably bought them like 1.6 mil, right? And I bought them, and then they tanked. And I had like $30 million of these things. And I was like, oh, I got to get rid of these. They're just tanking. This was a bad buy. This was a bad buy. So I sold them down at this low point, like around 1.5 mil. So I lost like 100K or 100K on every single one. If I had just waited a week, bro, I would have made like 300K on each one. Okay, so before you panic, if something's not selling, look at its historical price. Maybe the last 30 days is a good measure. You can go farther if you want, but you know, and you'll kind of see if you're at a good price point. Now, kind of another important tip that goes hand in hand with that is, like, if you look at my favorites and stuff, all these things, I mostly know about what price they bounce between. So I know when's a good time to buy and a good time to sell. Some of these items I've only flipped maybe once or twice, but some of these items I know if they dip to a certain price, like, it's gonna bounce back and I'm gonna make a lot of money. These Mystic Robe Tops, for example, if you go back, right, they stay pretty stable around 100K, but a while ago, they bounced up to like crazy high 600K, but it was low volume, so it's not like they sold a lot there. But they did bounce up to 160 here for a while. So I was buying them for 100K and flipping them for like 160 for probably a week. Now, if you look, it's stabilized since then, so I wouldn't have made much money if I was holding out there, right? It stayed the same. But I did notice when it was making a lot of sales there, I was like, you know what, let me just try. It's a low risk. And when it was up at 160, I was buying it for like 100, selling for 160. That's like a 60% profit. So you can flip by looking at things every day, but the more familiar you get with items, the better off you'll be. And you'll kind of start to learn, like zombie axes, I know now, go up to 1.8 mil. So I know if zombie axes are like, see, like right now, like 1.8 mil, if I see them and they're like 1.6 mil or 1.7 mil flat even, if I see them somewhere in that range, I know it's a buy because they're going to snap back. They're such a commonly used thing. So you can look like a Bizzle Whips or probably another good ones. They fluctuate a little bit. I personally have not had success with them, but they do have a pretty stable market, right? So they're like 1.4 right now. So like, if you look at it, right, it's pretty constantly right around 1.5 mil. So you can say safely, if you buy one, you'll be able to sell it at 1.5. It might take a little bit. So if you see a dip where you see it go to 1.4 mil, you can know that's a quick 100K safe flip with a good item that's not going to tank. Okay, so I know that's a little more complicated. If you guys want me to go into long-term holds and stuff like that, you can make a lot more money with them, but it does hold up your capital. So there is that to know. Okay, anyway, I hope you guys found this useful. I know I kind of went into the weeds a little bit. So if there's anything specific you have a question about, let me know, and maybe I'll make a follow-up video on it. And I appreciate you guys watching today, and hopefully this makes you guys a ton of gold. All right, I'll catch you out there. Thanks for watching.